see, getting some inventory done. So getting some reds, some of the warmer colors in here, as many as I can fit and keep up with. I guess we'll do plenty of warm colors. Burnt sienna, I believe this color was like a brown. So anything with like a brown or a red. People say that brown is a brown, but I think brown, I consider brown like almost a very dark red. But I guess it's a shade of very warm colors mixed together. As opposed to a gray would be cool colors mixed together. So let's get this. Let's get some of these colors together. So many browns. I got so many browns. I don't need more browns. Let this be a reminder that I don't need more browns. This is French gray. So we got our black here. Got our tons and tons of black. Get our yellow. Drop that right here. So Estrada Creations, what's going on? How are you? So I'm really just organizing my colors right now before I get started painting today. I felt like I needed to get some inventory of what's here. So blues, greens in there. Keep up with my whites. I think it's important because I have so many small tubes of paint that it's easy to get mixed up with all of them. So we got this olive green, a green, our yellow, green right here, blue, green. Extra materials. So Strata, what's going on? What do you think? It's primitive art. So talking about primitive art, if I'm sure you might be familiar with primitive art. It's basically a form of naive art. For those of you that don't know, if you know, this is just a reminder, but if you don't know, naive art is basically art that comes from someone who's not traditionally trained in art. So, you know, this could mean many things. This could be someone who's unlearned, someone who didn't go to school, or maybe someone who went to, you know, whatever. But you get the idea. It's like, basically it's art from somebody who's not necessarily formally trained at like a prestigious art school, right? And so the question is, so primitive art, by definition, is often considered art that's made by a trained artist that happens to look very naive, like it was very untrained. And that's what this question is about. Do you think, those of you here right now, do you feel as if, actually, you know what, the greens and blues should go in this back slot, because this little slot right here kind of has too much space. So we're going to do that. But do you think that, the question for the day is, do you think that primitive art is more about learning, or do you think it's about unlearning? Unlearning how to do things. Or do you think it's about learning like the styles and just going with the flow? So that's what today's question is about. And I see we've got a couple of answers, but I'll leave that up. Let's see. So Estrada says, you think it might be both. What's up, Omizu? Yeah, so what makes you say that it might be both? How did you come to that conclusion? Let's hear your thoughts. Let's pretend like, you know, we're having an actual discussion about art and philosophy of art and whatever. So again, just separating some colors here. I've got a lot of greens, got tons of reds and browns, like warm neutrals. I guess brown would be a warm neutral. Let's see, get this organized here. Green, use enough greens. Blues, greens, all up in here. Got my red and orange in this pocket. All right, so blue, green, right in here. Still just greens. I have very few secondary colors, I'm just realizing. I tend to have to mix my secondary colors. So this is a gray, this will go in the section with the black. Blue, put these extraneous materials in here. What was this? Oh yeah, this is an ochre. So we'll put that right here. I got a lot of warm colors, less cool colors. So Nico's got a question. Looks cool, thanks. If I could answer every what should you do? You know, Nico, you should talk to a YouTube doctor, which could be anybody on YouTube who claims to be a doctor. No, just kidding. Actually, disclaimer, before you do anything, I want to disclaim that this is not medical information. I'm not being serious. Nico has asked a very ridiculous question, so I'm giving a dumb answer. So those of you that are, that take things a little too seriously, I just want to clarify that if you sneeze every time and you poop a little and it affects your heart, what should you do? If that happens, you should definitely see a doctor. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'm being judgmental. Maybe this is actually an issue, and he's asking me how he should handle it for whatever reason. And it's a real issue that's affecting you. Maybe that's a real thing. I don't know. So if it is a real thing, I would say see a doctor. If it's not a real thing, thank you for seeking out advice from me. I find it very interesting that you would ask that question here. And let's see, Estrada, you feel like it could be about unlearning of seeing things in a way, of learning to open up about other ways of doing art. Love the shirt. Thanks, Sigma Dex. This is my favorite shirt. I'm going to wear this on... What if I just wore this on every single live stream? Like, I just washed it like once a week and wore it just like as much as I could. Just wore the heck out of it. Would people even notice? Probably not. People don't pay enough attention.
I'm going to charge my phone and get a power factor. It won't charge.
Your phone won't charge?
No, I'm going to charge my phone.
Uh-oh.
Where'd you bring that pillow in?
Huh?
Is that the one from outside?
No.
Oh.
That one was on the floor somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Alright, you know what? I'm going to throw some more neutrals in this little... No, the pillow that they peed on was the brown one.
No, they peed on one of those pillows, too.
Oh, well, I didn't know. That one was inside.
Oh.
I'm telling you right now that one was inside.
believe you.
Okay.
I thought I put it on the porch.
Alright. I'm just explaining. Alright.
Okay, I moved my...
Alright, so I got these yellows. I got this red right here. But love the bear painting. Yeah, thanks. So this was actually a repaint. I did this yesterday. But actually the original version was like over a year ago, so I'm repainting over some of my smaller paintings. So this is a redo. So get a little closer view for y'all. It looks different up close than it does far away. It's very textured.
I don't have time to paint them right now because it's going to close.
Okay. I just started painting. I don't... Huh?
Not all people are...
I just started organizing.
What?
So I just started organizing. So it looks like I'm quite limited on yellows. Let me get some more of my colors from my box over here. Got a nice supply of paint colors down here. Right now I'm just doing some inventory of my paint supplies. I think it's important to do this once in a while. So I've got so many warm reds, purples, things like that. And what if people in the future see our art as primitive? Hey, that's a good question, dude. Oh, Mizu, man, thinking. The brain, the mind, look at that. Yeah, so I guess in the future, yeah, just painting in general. Is that what you mean? Like, people in the future are just gonna see painting in general as primitive? So I'm gonna get my browns out of here. As much as I love the texture of, Georgian brand, Daler Rowney, I dislike that their color things are just like pieces of paper, so they get stuck and they come off. But I love the texture of these. They're very, fluid in a good way. So got my blacks, my grays. This is a brown because that color just fell off. So trying to separate them. Separate some of my neutral colors here. We got our green. Throw our yellow into here. Sienna could be a brown. So wish you could paint like this. Hey, yeah, you can. I mean, I did it all pretty much on a live stream. So if you want to take a look, you know, you could watch the last live stream and you could just listen and go along. But I think more than anything, it's really just, I think I was lucky with this because I had the painting already. I'd already done it and it was previously completed a different way, and I just painted over it. So I didn't have to worry about the sketch or the design or anything hard like that. I just had to do the work. So that's nice. It's always nice when you can just do the work of painting without worrying about all the other stuff. One thing that's annoying about painting in plein air, like going out and painting in plein air, is that the way I have my stuff organized is it always gets disorganized. It always becomes disorganized because of how I organize it in here. So wish you could paint like that. Looks like some intuitive painting. It reminds you of Van Gogh. Van Gogh. Did I steal a Van Gogh bear? I stole Van Gogh's painting style for this, yes. Did I steal a bear from Van Gogh? That I will leave as a mystery. No one will ever know whether this bear was stolen or bought. So ultramarine is very dark. That's got a lot of. Actually, I don't have any secondaries. Got all these greens, these yellows, a little bit of orange, no purples. Got this Prussian blue. Ooh, Prussian blue is so dark. This is almost an area of like black. Got my ochre, yellow ochre. This red goes here. Yellows. Yellow, blue. One thing I'm definitely noticing is that I'm always low on white. So I got this one quadrant up. I got one warm secondary cat orange hue. Let's see where else. Got a white here. I only have one tube of a small tube of white left. Two small tubes of white left. White goes so fast. If you ever need to get a gift for an artist, one good gift to get is getting white paint. That's like the one color that every artist can use. I mean, unless obviously you know the artist is like, you know, painting with black or painting with purple, right? And then obviously, but still, white is really good because it helps to either brighten the color or darken or whatever. But I think I've done enough organizing here, and I have an idea of what what colors are available to me. I can make every color of the rainbow with these colors. Let me organize some of my bigger pieces down here. So I will be doing some smaller paintings today. not doing my usual huge pieces, or I guess not even huge. They're just like average size, mid to large sized. I've got these two. This is a brand that I've been using for quite a while. It's Van Gogh. It's by Royal Talons, the same company that makes the Rembrandt brand. The Rembrandt paint is really, really expensive. And I really like these because they give some great colors that can do these like effects. Like I feel like they picked some really great colors that obviously I'm guessing that Van Gogh would have used. Especially this cerulean blue. I really like the cerulean blue a lot. And the deep yellow is a very unique yellow, the Azo deep yellow. You know, this yellow, Azo yellow light, you can find that easily, you know, but creating a nice deep yellow and this cerulean blue, I mean, obviously you could buy them, but it's nice to have. So I'm going to actually empty these out, get rid of these boxes because they kind of just like stack on top of each other. And here's another thing that I've been on my next project. I should challenge yourself to not use white. That's a good idea. So I'm actually pretty excited to use these colors because this was a really expensive set that I got on sale. The Lucas, I guess it's not that expensive. It's, you know, it's like a mid upper price paint kit. But we're pleased to offer this anniversary set to our artists with colors inspired by Vincent van Gogh's color palette. So as you can see, I very much admire van Gogh's work. And, you know, I think his work translates into a lot of people. Like, how many people have made works inspired by van Gogh? Probably every single artist that has ever lived has, at one time or another, looked at van Gogh's work and, you know, did something or thought about, you know, was inspired by it in some way. So I'm getting rid of these boxes. Excited to open this up. I love opening boxes. This is an unboxing video as much as it is a not an unboxing video. So here we go. Let's see what they say for the Lucas. Let's see what they have to say. Traditional selection of the finest artist oil color. This was made in 2022 and it's limited edition. Wow, I didn't know that. Well, I got a limited edition set of paints. I don't remember how I got the sale, but it's probably only like you know, maybe $10 or $20 off. But I'll see how these go. Lucas. All right, let's throw these boxes out. And we should get started painting. Actually, you know what, people? I have some kittens. I have some kittens to feed, so actually just give me a few moments. I gotta feed a kitten. But chat amongst, oh my goodness, look at this. Look what I found. This is a kitten in a box. A kitten has appeared in a box. I didn't put him there. Just found his way in there himself. There's a kitten in a box. I guess this isn't new to anybody. We all know kittens love boxes. But, there it is, a kitten in a box. Okay, Fern, food is coming. All right, I feel more organized now. It's important to feel organized. So I gotta get a new set of gloves because I had to take them off to feed the kittens. But here we go. So what's everybody up to? Somebody pick a subject. I'm gonna paint over this with some ideas that come to mind. But throw out some words, not necessarily objects that you want to see, but just throw out some ideas that come to mind. And I'm just gonna mess around, just see what comes of inspirational ideas from various people. Oh yeah, let's see this poll, what this poll's about. 80% have said that primitive art is about learning, and only one person has said it's about unlearning. Ooh, that's a cool answer. Who said unlearning? Who said that it's about unlearning? And what made you answer that unlearning? I don't know if you're still here. You're probably not still here, huh? Are you? Because 5 people answered, but can't see who answered or who's in the room. And there's no right or wrong answer. Like, you know, this is totally just to hear what people have to say. But let me put this, get my palette set up here. I really like a lot of these unique colors that I discovered and didn't realize I had. I gotta put this down because it's a little too clunky here. Too clunky. Some of these colors are taking up too much space. So I need to I just want to keep my used ones up here. Yellow ochre. I got a lot of yellow ochre. So we're going to throw this right here. Yellow ochre. A couple of these colors. And there we go. That should be enough. So yeah, I think primitivism is pretty interesting because I definitely think that if you go with a learning attitude, you know, if you say, hey, I want to learn how to do this really unusual and bizarre style. But you can also go, you know, be able to do it not purposely, and it's just your style because you're so in tune with your personal art style that you're willing to just paint things however your heart desires. And I think that's powerful. So let me get these art containers, these cleaning supplies open. Whew. The scents and the smells. I hadn't used these materials for a little while, and suddenly it's like everything just smells 10 times as powerful. All right, let's waft the room just a little bit here. I think I turn on the fan. We have a fan in here, but we broke the string. We have to like climb up to turn the fan on. We're gonna have to turn the fan on. Okay, so let's see. This is another piece I did. You know what? Like, here's the funny thing is, by the way, I've told myself that I'm gonna try to say less ums. I use the word and a lot because I talk so much that I get into these, like, and I'm so distracted by painting and talking that I just use just to give myself a pause to think. But I'm gonna make an effort to do less of them. I actually happen to like this one. Even though it looks so wacky, I really like this one. So I don't know if I'm gonna paint over it. Just the thing about it is there's all these like empty spaces with white space, and I don't like when there's that white space there. So maybe I could paint over this and just tighten it up. But you know what? I was looking at some art by, I think Rousseau was the artist, Henri Rousseau, and they have a lot of white space. They basically just use like blobs of paint in like with tons of white space in between. So I don't know, maybe I'll keep this. I'm trying to think. Go over just a little. You think this should be gone over? Maybe paint a bigger version. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look purposeful. The white space doesn't look purposeful. This was, again, these were one of my, you could tell this, I said, you can tell the time that I painted something based on the size of it, how long ago I painted it. Because I did this system where I graduated myself to bigger sizes as I did more. One thing I do love about these smaller canvases is I can just stack them and like put them up here and I don't have to worry about it, whereas the big canvases I can't. I have to find space for them elsewhere. I can't just stack them and be able to like look at them. So we're just gonna leave that up there. I'm gonna get on this piece. Let's see where this goes. Oh, I got some yellow on my finger, so let's just start with a little finger dab right there. Okay, wipe that off. All right. What are we gonna do? Let's go with, what kind of brush are we gonna use for this? I'm gonna go with some dry brushing on this piece. Some dry brushing. Nice flat dry brush. What should I use? That's not what the purpose of this brush is, but I'm just gonna use a small bright brush. This is a really small flat brush. And yesterday I did all this painting with just one type of brush. You can see it's pretty standard as far as what the brush stroke looks like, all pretty much the same size. Doesn't really give it a lot of dimension. If I was to think really critically about it, like if I was to criticize myself, I'd be like, it's sort of, it looks like it was painted with a single brush, right? It doesn't look like there's a lot of variety. That would be my only criticism. I mean, I guess if you're trying to be a super critic, there's tons to criticize, but that's my personal criticism now that I'm thinking about the brushwork. But let's see where we could go from here. So I've got these purples, got these reds. Let's just start in the areas of reds. Let's just dive right in and not overthink what I have to do here and achieve, which ultimately I don't really have to do or achieve anything with this. There's no expectation. No expectation. Maybe it will sell one day, maybe it won't, but that is not the reason why I am painting right now. Fortunately, I think it's a unique experience to be able to just paint without an expectation that it has to do something, right? Like that it has to look a certain way. When I say interesting experience, what I mean is, I think when most people paint, let's say you go like a sip and paint, right? You go to a sip and paint and you're there and you're you have one canvas in front of you, maybe two. I don't know how sip and paints work. I've never been to a sip and paint, but at the end of the day, there's this one canvas, and you have to make something out of the one canvas. And what do you make out of that one canvas? But I know I have plenty of canvases to paint over. So I can't really say where this is going to go, but well, we shall see. The world, let's mix some purple here. We're going to mix some purple and just play around with some purple. Red and blue. I mix it with a brush. I know that's not the right way. You're supposed to take a palette knife and That's the right way. Get a palette knife and then mix the colors. Makes for a better color. But here we go. Go for some light purples right into here. Who knows? Maybe this just ends up looking like a big abstract piece that makes no sense whatsoever. Unless you're watching this video and you can figure out that it's actually my living room. This is my living room with that fireplace down there and some green. Sipping paint. That is not highly recommended. Oh, excuse me. So Mizu, you got any new projects you're working on? Estrada, I know you finally you had I noticed you built some momentum on your social media. So that's awesome. That is awesome. And like I said, one of the things about social media, about posting, is getting over the fear of posting or just getting into the consistency. That's one thing. But the next hard part is really getting over the fact that you may or may not get the amount of engagements that you're looking for upon first look. So it's starting to get kind of boring as far as the overall color combination goes. So I'm just going to paint over with some of these sections that I'm seeing and piece this all together. And what can we come up with, right? Maybe this just becomes an unusual abstract painting. I don't know. I'm just letting some of these other colors that have already been laid down guide me. Allowing this to be my guide. Continue to work on the kid. Dude, you're making a kid's book? That's great. Oh, well, I guess you don't have to tell the story, but where do I go? Are you able to tell what's about, or is it still like under wraps? I know you were an author, illustrator, multi-talented individual. Yeah, kids' books are great. I read kids' books one time when I was a kid. Not so much anymore, but I see the value in them. All right, got this pink. let's stop with this brush. Let's lay it down right here. Clean it off. Illustrator. Book number 2. Dude. So you must constantly be... That's awesome. That is amazing that you are illustrating. I did not realize that. I knew you worked a lot with not cartoons, but with, I guess you could say cartoons, I don't know. I thought you worked with anime, but I didn't realize that you were also illustrating children's books. That's great. I want to keep this clunkiness here. I like the clunkiness of this. So I think where we're gonna go is we're gonna continue painting with some yellows. Let's not be too shy with our color here. I'm getting a bit shy. And throw in some of this green, some more of this green. I need some more of this green. Let's go right up here. And I feel like I'm working on like my own coloring book, like here's this thing I already painted, and now I'm just going over it again, and I already know where everything's supposed to go. It's just a matter of making it look different. So bringing this yellow here. I know this paint's still wet, so I'm looking to make it more greenified. So here's a question. Would you consider this painting for the sake of painting, or art for the sake of art, or painting for the sake of art? What do y'all think? I'm not going to put that up as a poll or anything. I think I like this painting better the way it was a moment ago, before I did this. But we'll see. We'll see how this turns out. It's got a quality. Painting for the sake of painting. Okay, there we go. Painting for the sake of painting. Yes. And is there a difference? So, Omizu, what would be your there I go using that word. I'm really trying to push myself to stop using the word So you're gonna hear me catching myself here. But Omizu, what makes you say that this is painting for the sake of painting as opposed to art for the sake of art? Where is what would the difference be? Where does the difference lie, the separation? By the way, those of you tuning in for the first time, I don't do tutorials. This is just me. This is my content creation as well as me practicing and exploring painting. Exploring painting. What is my end goal for this piece? You know, I wish I don't have I don't have an end goal. My end goal is that I'm gonna paint over this and see what happens. I don't have a specific purpose. I know that sounds absurd to some people, that you can just do something with no goal or purpose in mind. But yeah, how do you paint something or come up with something that you don't have a specific end goal? I mean, of course the end goal is to paint over this and make it an alternative version of itself, of what it is. And this, you know, this chair's not even green. This chair's a teal, but I'm gonna stick with the green anyway because green and red look good together. So here we go. Nice and cozy. Nice, cozy. The abstraction of my living room. Yeah, pretty much the goal with this is just painting over this painting that I have. And I'm using some of the styles and method that I already had, but mostly using that as a guide rather than a specific format or specific way of doing it. I feel some inspiration coming along here. First, I need to paint this nice and down. And let's darken this color a little bit. I'm gonna add some of this dark green here. So I just thought right now I'm gonna abstract some of the shapes in here. Just a little bit, just a hint of abstraction of shapes. Let's see where it leads me. What is this random blue? Why does anyone do anything? Why does anyone do anything? Estrada, why do you do things? So Omizu, what were you thinking behind that question? What was were you trying to, were you going in the direction of no one really does anything for any reason? Are you being nihilist, where nothing, in a sense that nothing has meaning? Have you been reading some Nietzsche? Nihilism. What an interesting concept that is. So nihilism, by the way, for those of you that aren't familiar, by the way, if you were to ask me 5 hours ago if I knew what nihilism means, I would have said, I'm not really sure. But I just happened to pick up a book this afternoon that was talking about nihilism, Nihilism. So I have the opportunity to flex my newfound knowledge by sharing it with everybody. My fancy SAT word that I didn't know 5 hours ago, but now I do, so I can brag about it. I like this cube that's just floating here. I don't know what it's doing. It's just there. It's just a part of the world. This is actually the cat litter box. Not nihilism. That's a dead end. Okay. I can roll with that. Nihilism is a dead end. But you could say that because of nihilism, you could do anything and everything. If everything has no purpose, you might as well do nothing, and you might as well do everything. Anything can be everything. I'm gonna be right back. I gotta let the cats out of the room. So what happens is our kittens like to eat the big cat's food, and the big cats like to eat the little cat's food sometimes. And it all depends. Like, we gotta try to keep them separate. I mean, I guess we don't necessarily have to do anything, right? There's no specific reason that we have to separate their food, but we just choose to do so. Let me use a palette knife to mix my next color here. All right, let's find a good deep purple. So we're gonna grab this red right here. And drop it down right there. I'm gonna grab the remaining of our blue. If I had to name a color that I have the most trouble mixing, I would say it's probably purple. It would probably be purple. Oops, that's not where I wanted to put that color. And I think it's pretty easy thinking about it. I'm just like, instead of starting with red, I should probably just start with an ultramarine and bring that ultramarine with the red. But no matter what, the idea of purple escapes me. It's hard to not just get a black. There we go. Got a nice mushy purple here. And then I have to find another use for this purple, which I don't always have a use for the purple. All right, I think we got a good purple. I feel like purple should be a neutral color. I mean, I feel this would totally derail the entire color, 6-color system: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. I feel like purple should be a neutral color, akin to brown. Maybe I can invent a totally new color system. Purple feels like a neutral color, doesn't it? Like it's neutral. It's like it should just be red, orange, yellow, green, blue. Red, yellow, blue is primaries, obviously. And then purple's like a neutral. Because yellow doesn't feel neutral. Or green doesn't feel neutral. Orange doesn't feel like a neutral color, but purple feels like it's like a brown. Purple feels like a version of brown or gray. It's like the gray between blue and red. Right? Let's see how we can abstract this. I like what I did with this cube here. Something simple like that. Maybe I'm going to go with a sphere. What is this random sphere popping up here? All right, and what do you do with a sphere to make it look more round? You add some more color around the edges. So I could probably just bring in a little bit of this ultramarine. Mix in a bit of this ultramarine. Touch it around the edges here. We're working with the basics, the total basics of any painting course is painting not shapes but forms. So there we go, just giving this this sphere some more dimension. Making the outside even darker, and I'm darkening it with the blue. And let's add a little bit of white to the inside, just to give it that extra layer of roundness, the subtlety. A little too much white, a little too bright. Let's go bring it in. Let's bring it down just a little bit more. All right, random objects floating in my living room. Here we go. Move this way. Seems like it's the beginnings of surrealism. Something surreal. Let's bring some of this purple into our green. I need to break this up a little bit with some different color. And there we go. So let's do that. We're gonna lay down whatever this color is. I don't know, but I'm gonna use it. Find some place for it. I'll find a place for this color. What would be a good color to oppose blue? This red that I've got here. You know what? I need to use up the rest of this purple paint. And this does not have enough paint on it. It's just too delicate. So let's paint this. I find this is probably somewhere in the middle as far as this purple goes. There we go. Lay down the paint. Spread it around. Might have messed up its sphericalness a little bit, but that's all right. Let's see, right here, bring this down. And there we go. Let's create some lines on this thing. As if the shape isn't clear enough. Cat, I fed all the cats. Did you hear me? Cat.
Huh?
I fed all the cats.
Oh, thank you. Alright, I went to the chiropractor. I signed up for stretching tomorrow. They opened a stretch lab.
Oh yeah? Great.
Try it. Said I was really tight.
They probably say that about everybody.
No, they never used to say that to me.
Babe, you've never had a chiropractor tell you that you were tight?
Yeah, but not in the same words. Just like, oh my God, you're so tight.
That's what he said. All right. There we go. So let's go with this orange here. I'm gonna go orange. I'm gonna bring some orange down into these areas right here.
Okay. It's going to be a night of leftovers.
All right. Let's go into here. I'm gonna go paint with this yellow, nice and interesting. Nice and interesting.
Out.
Hello to Kat. So Estrada says, hi, Kat.
Hi. Hi. How y'all doing?
What's going on, everybody? Kat wants to know how everyone's doing. What is everybody doing? Okay. Here, put it on the pile right there.
That's a new pile?
That's the old pile, but I need to go through it. And let's see what else we got. We're gonna go somewhere in the middle here. Actually, we're gonna grab some yellows. Just some straight yellows. And go straight down. Let's just bring this yellow straight down. Bring it straight down here as well. And straight down with the yellow down here. And here's something that popped out of my mind. Am I even using this, my imagination? Is this considered using your imagination? I don't know. So I'm not really imagining anything. I'm just, I guess you could call this intuitive. Just painting whatever your intuition is telling you, just going with your gut of what you feel needs to be done. What you feel must be accomplished.
Smell quite strong.
Yeah. I think it's just been changing these past couple days. Or, I mean, when we finally open it up. Just been lingering. You know what I mean? I definitely feel as if I'm using intuition, but I don't feel like I'm using creativity here. Or maybe it is. I mean, I guess intuition is a form of creativity. What do y'all think? Is intuition a form of creativity? Kathleen says it is, so it is. She is the final word.
I think it is.
Nobody else can have an opinion after Kathleen has given her opinion. That's sarcasm. I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Let your followers
that's totally a joke.
weigh in on the situation.
So, is there a difference between intuition and creativity, or is intuition a form of creativity? Is all intuition creativity, but not all creativity is intuition? I don't know. Let's do a Q&A. What is the difference between what is the difference between what is the difference between creative art and intuitively creating? Done. So there's a Q&A there. I don't know where it's popping up. I think it's blocking the painting, but that's okay. Let's put it right there, right here. Who wants to answer that question? What is the difference between creative art and intuitively creating? What is creativity? Oh, something needs to go in this center right here. I think first of all, I need to lay down a nice flat color. Let's just do white. Or gray. No. Go good in here. I need a light purple. Yeah, let's grab this and grab our white. Grab this purple here. Lighten it up quite a bit. I'm just gonna paint into here. And I think this has become interesting in a way. Not quite sure what's going on, but something's going on. Right? Okay. And here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna hide some words in here. We're gonna hide a thank you, hide Omizu and Estrada as a thank you for being a part of this live stream. So I'm gonna carve out those words somewhere. Not necessarily in big letters, but just gonna carve it out. Let's see, let's find a good place to carve out secret names and words. We go. Right here. Flatten this area out. Let's take a red here. This is like a burnt sienna or red. Estrada. Alright, well, I guess it's not so hidden. If this was a massive painting, it might be more hideable, but there we go. Kind of had to do a waterfall with the word Estrada, but somewhere in there. Thank you, Estrada and Omizu. Did a little waterfall of Estrada. We're gonna call this one done. And let's, oh, you know what I need? I have a before photo, so that's good. But I need to just cover up these remaining spaces here. There's a couple little sections here that are just distracting. Right here. What I also want to do, I want to go into some of these areas and make it look more brushed. See, I'm just seeing what happens if, instead of leaving these sections as thick globules of paint, what happens if I just do a consistent downward brush stroke? I mean, I know what's going to happen is I'm going to blend some of the colors, and that's the purpose, but sometimes you can't foresee the exact result that you're going to get.
Partake of food.
Not right now.
Should I save you some? I'm not cooking, it's leftovers.
You know what? I didn't really like that effect as much, but hey, we've got a new painting, a wholly new and unusual thing that's going on here. So that's good. I think we did good. I did actually like the way it was before. Whatever, all that like scratchiness, that ruggedness in the painting. Oh, oof. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do that for this whole thing, and then we're gonna go over it again. We're gonna go over it again. We're gonna change directions. And let's just see what happens if we flatten the colors and blend it. Are you allowed to do that? Are you allowed to change directions in the middle of a painting? Or at the very end, kept the Estrada there. The Estrada Omizu. And let's see what we're going to do with this. We're going to blend some of this. We're going to go up with it. And here we go. We're going to go flatten across this too.
Did you feed the kittens or you fed?
I fed both.
What's the problem, Brody?
Hmm. Clean off this brush. And let's use this blender brush here. We're just gonna go and totally dry with this blender brush and just see what happens when we start to blend this green all together. I don't know what to think about this piece. Honestly, I think it was better the way it was before. But hey, that's what happens when you do more, when you do too much. That's okay. This is perfect. So I always get in trouble with these blender brushes here, these fan brushes. And if you leave them separated, if you leave them and they dry like all stuck together, they lose their quality. So you have to like fan them out every time you use it, I think. Either that or I'm just not cleaning them right, but that's a possibility too. It ends up getting so stiff sometimes. We're just gonna hope that works. What if I outline the couch? Cat, look at where this kitten is. Huh?
Okay.
Do you see them on the table over here?
Which table? The living room?
No, right here on the kitchen counter.
Oh, they like to sleep up against it.
Whatever shall I do? When in doubt, go Van Ho. Trying to find a good thin brush to do this with.
You're gonna want some of this spaghetti and chicken.
Maybe later, not right now though.
There's salmon, there's broccoli. I guess we finished the rice. Tanya's coming back.
Oh yeah, she is. When's she gonna be back?
I just asked her. I didn't answer. There the Halloween party, so I was going to. Oh, there's Dave Jaws party. That's midnight. That's Sunday, right?
28th, yeah.
Hey, Earn-ish.
Some more color variety I can already see.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
I don't like it.
Why?
Huh?
Cubism? You don't like it?
It's not cubism.
What is it? They're cubes.
It's not cubism.
What is it?
It's just
Cubes.
mindlessly creating.
Okay, well.
So it's called the mindless self-indulgence.
Really?
You know that's a band, right?
Mindless self-indulgence?
Yep.
Just looks like cubes.
Hey, anybody listen to the band called Mindless Self-Indulgence? They're like a crazy, unusual metal band. Alexa, play Mindless Self-Indulgence, the band.
This is Mindless Self-Indulgence from Spotify.
Alexa, off. I just want to give you an idea of what they...
Mindless self-indulgence.
Yeah. What kind of music they
pretty
do.
Mindless and self-indulgent.
Said it's pretty mindless and self-indulgent?
Yes.
Farted. Is that the food or is that...
Did you fart?
Well, I wasn't blaming you, I was blaming the cats.
Oh.
But you're also a cat.
Mm-hmm.
You are cat.
No. We farted.
Is it the food? Or do you think a cat farted?
I don't know. Smell it. That's the food.
No, the food doesn't smell bad. What's fun?
Balloon Museum. Sounds like fun.
You said the Blue Museum?
Balloon Museum.
The Balloon Museum. All right. We're going somewhere with this. I think we're going places. There's some positive changes here. Let's see, we need a outline. Need a nice thin outline. Do a thin outline. Let's use this brush. Let's go with the very dark blue here. I think a blue is a good color. Someone knocking on our door?
Kittens in the fridge. Refrigerator kittens.
Yeah, so I guess Estrada said white outlines. I'm actually going to use black, but outlines. I'm touching this up with different colors. So we're going with a different color scheme here. And I just cannot, like, I feel like nothing, it's really hard to not do this impasto style that I love from the Impressionists. Or the post-impressionists, of just taking thick globules of paint and creating this design with them. And I think we have to thank the Japanese artists historically for this style, because if it wasn't for the Japanese woodblock prints of the 1800s or earlier, we might not have this flattened style, right? The Western style was highly focused on using illusions to capture realism, right? Using illusions to capture this sense of space and 3D space. Whereas Asian artists, particularly the Japanese, historically, the Eastern artworks, they were focused on just capturing ideas. They didn't have perspective, this idea of perspective, till a bit later. So, or maybe they did have perspective, but they didn't use it the same way that they didn't do it the same way that Western artists did. So if it wasn't for that merging of the French and European artists taking ideas, I don't want to say taking ideas, that sounds so like thieving, but I guess all art is stolen in some way. But if it wasn't for the Western European art movement of the Impressionists mixing with the Eastern flattened artworks, we might not have come to some of the interesting paintings that we came to, in a sense of creating a dimensionality. The dimensionality of Western art. I'm trying to give a give a pseudo lecture while I'm painting and thinking about painting, but basically, yeah, I'm coming to this conclusion that what would happen if the Impressionists were never inspired by the Japanese woodblock print artists who were not using the Western developed perspective system. This is getting a little lecture-esque, so if you don't like art, I can imagine it gets kind of boring, but it is interesting to think about how our world would change if, like visually, you know, how our world would look different if any of the artists or movements or whatever didn't come to be. Surely someone might have come up with something similar, or later on, or if it wasn't them that invented it, but you know what, we can have totally different visual, the world will look totally different, literally, just simply based on the fact that we would not have certain ideas. I think that's interesting. Not very important, right? We're not talking like it's going to change your life, but I do think about that stuff sometimes. So here we go. I think the colors, the way that I'm adapting these colors, inputting these colors, is really creating it's really creating for a new look of this piece. It's really giving this painting some more pop. Now what I need to do, I've already got still a lot of red on here, so let's go. But here's the question, right? Like, of what I was just trying to say to illustrate what I was trying to say in the least words as possible. Just the question is, what would the world look like without Omizu paints? What would the world look like without Estrada Creations as far as their artwork is concerned? You know, what would the world look like? Their works would not exist. What would the world look like without Picasso or Rembrandt? Of course, there's probably another artist during their time that would have became quite successful and well known. But at the same time, what would the world look like without their work? All right. That much more bleak. Yes, that much more bleak. Who would just be so boring? Without those great artists of our time or the times past.
Broccoli's actually really good.
I think broccoli in general is really good.
Oh, dude. I didn't know you were such a fan. Well, there it is. Hey. eat the salmon? No.
Is he eating salmon?
Why are you doing that?
Oh.
Hey, no, you eat the broccoli?
You tricked him with the plastic, huh?
Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, she's eating the broccoli. Hey, look at her.
Which one?
She's grabbing the broccoli. Here, take this piece, because it's small. Here, take that piece.
She likes broccoli?
Yeah. Eats anything.
Well, without broccoli would be very bleak or filled with less flatulence. Ooh. Broccoli gives flatulence? I didn't know broccoli gives flatulence.
Yes, it does.
Huh? It does? Really?
Yes, it's a gas.
You know what? We're going to lay down a ton of purple just... Okay. This is going interesting places. Let's lay down some more of this blue, this purple here, and we're gonna go boom, 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 boom. And we can actually use this brush to do the outline here. Let's do an outline. Nice dark outline. Let's go with some more outlines. I need an outline around this figure thing here. I've spent a surprising amount of time on this painting. Gonna put some outline into that thing too. Before we do that, let's bring this purple here. And let's go do this blue section right here. So we're actually gonna go and bring this green up top here. throw in a little bit of a Prussian blue. Actually, I think this is just an ultramarine, not a Prussian. It's not a Prussian. And we're gonna go.
No, this is not for you.
I'm gonna go more ultramarine on this section here. Do the outline. A nice outline done. Let's go right here. Outlines are great for this style, I've discovered. That outlines are great for this type of stuff because it gives you the opportunity to align all of your brush strokes. Like if you're going off to the edge with some of your brush work, you can use this as an opportunity to bring it in and clean it up. And the world without broccoli. Who said the world without broccoli? Who? And then I didn't finish my sentence. Who would live in a world without broccoli?
Or ice cream.
See what happens if I lay down the outline first. Now, I was taught in digital art school, never use outlines. Your goal is to create like something that has no outline, pretty much.
They taught me too.
Yeah, I guess it's pretty traditional, you know. It's like you don't want to see outlines because you want to see forms.
It's like amateur.
Huh?
They said it was amateur.
Yes.
But if you like outlines, do outlines.
But I think for certain styles, outlines, if you want to keep it neat. So here's a discovery. If you do, and I'll show this discovery. So when you're doing painting in that post-impressionist style that Vincent van Gogh defined, if you look closely at his works, you'll see that they all have outlines. And I'm not saying that's a reason to have outlines. But if you ever try to paint in his style, there's a challenge that comes about. And that challenge is, how do I make things nice and neat along the edges? Because what you're doing is when you're constantly pushing these colors around, you're bound to have like these little edges that are not so neat, that go off the page a little bit. And if you look closely, the discovery that you'll find in Vincent's work and many other impressionists is that their work uses outlines to create that sense of neatness. Now that I'm thinking of it, I think the outline has to come afterwards, depending on how dark it is. I don't know. Maybe there's a little bit of both. You could probably, I'm doing both. I've never done the research on what came first, or gotten a definitive answer. What came first, the outline, or the impasto on the inside? It's a question I'll have to discover one day. But I think it could be either. It could be either the outline or the impasto. If you don't know what impasto is, impasto is simply just taking a lot of paint, putting it on a brush, and then just loading it onto your canvas. That's it. That's all impasto is. Nothing. It's not like it's a technique rather than a style. Impasto is a brush technique rather than a style. I think that's a good way to put it. So here we go. We're actually going to go down with this. We're going to go boom, 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 boom. And there we have it. So we're going to clean this brush off. Oh, by the way, those of you wondering, how does my canvas look? So I've been using this canvas, chicken or the egg. Yeah, so I've been using this canvas as so when I have extra paint, I don't like to just like wipe it or throw it away to clean off my brush. I like to put it on this canvas. It's coming out pretty interesting. I like the way it's turning out. This will be my forever, rather than a palette, it's the paint disposal canvas. So I'm actually going to go with the smaller brush now. I'm going to go with a smaller brush. And we're going to do this section right here. Inside. Now load it up. Remember to load up the brush. You have to mix it just right first. Exactly, so the chicken or the egg, the outline or the impasto. So I definitely think the outline comes after, because if you really look at it, if you do the outline early, you could still come up with like this messy look. Like, I don't know if y'all can really see this, but let me show you closer what I'm talking about for anyone who's curious. So what happens when you do, and the light reflects this, so maybe it's making it hard to see, but what happens when you do an impasto style? Again, impasto is literally just laying paint on really thick. You can see that there's ridges. The reason why the light reflects this off in a ridge. But what happens is, if you do the line work first, is you can still get these edges here, and they could still be pretty messy. But if you ever look at some of this work up close, like the actual impressionists that did the work, it's really clean. And I definitely think that there's Mizu was saying that what if you do the preliminary line drawing before adding any paint? Yes, I mean, I do that, but I think what happens, I think the reality is, in order to get this crisp of a line, you have to do another line afterwards And again, this isn't like a perfect straight line. I'm not saying straightness or roundness or whatever, but I'm saying in order to clean the edge, to make the edge of the impasto, because if you see right here, you can see an example that the edges have this like messy, tethered, feathered design here. And if you look really closely at Impressionists, you can see that they don't really have that most of the time, I think. I have to really look closer another time, but I think what they do is they put the line after. This has been a question that has been on my mind for a while, but I am pretty sure that they do another line after. Maybe they do initial line, but also sometimes you'll see that there's overlap like on top of the line. So, you know, maybe it depends. Sometimes they do it afterwards, sometimes they do it before. I guess you just got to be flexible. But yeah, that is a thought. Maybe if it's too messy, they make a line to clean it all up. But if it's not messy, not that noticeable, and you want to keep the texture, you could just go with this. So fat over lean. Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. Fat over lean, oilier over, you know, thinner. That for sure. But one thing's also for sure is they were definitely not timid with paint. Be sure of that with the Impressionists. So I'm going to add some of these pieces into this section right here. Right here. Oh, Mizu. Really appreciate the continued thoughts and input. So here we go. Let's go bring this color. And now let's go into the green. Let's paint the rest. The word fat over lean. Always fat over lean is a great way to work with the oil paint. So I know, Mizu, do you want to explain what fat over lean means? Because I find it interesting. I occasionally get like random viewers who pop in, and we talk about things that are out of context that people don't know. It disconnect them. So yeah, let's go like this. We're gonna go in a circle here. We're gonna go. Oh, if you don't want to, it's cool. I just think it's helpful to not alienate people by talking about things that they might not know. But I'm sure everyone who watches my live streams knows everything there is about art.
Really? Do you know everything there is about art? Should I let the broccoli out? Emmett, are you gonna want broccoli?
Maybe. Yeah.
No, just put it away.
Interesting effect there. I like the way this is turning out, but you have to do it. I have to do it with the. It's got to be thick. Gotta lay the paint on thick, otherwise it just doesn't work. So they say Von Holst's chairs had a lot of symbolism. A lot of symbolism tied to his chairs. I don't know what that symbolism is. It's like the symbolizing of a person. The chair was a huge symbol of a person because the mythology goes that Vincent couldn't always get models to sit for him, so instead he would just paint chairs. Imagine that. Couldn't get a model. Thin layers as you start. Here, need some blue. And we're almost done here. I'm gonna go do this, and then we're gonna go the bottom down here.
Hi.
We're gonna do this bottom section. Bottom corner. Was it because of the smell? Thin layers, and as you progress. Okay, oh yeah, so Mizu has explained what it means to paint thin over fat over lean. What do you say? Is it fat over lean? Yep. Thinner layers as you progress, and the paint you apply gets thicker so the painting doesn't fall apart as you polymerizes. Thin layers as you start. What because of the bad smell? Or because of the smell? I don't remember the context of what our conversation was on about. I mean, I do remember us talking about cats farting. Oh, the broccoli. Was it because of the smell of the broccoli? That's funny, yeah. Sometimes you gotta remind me about the things I talk about. All right. Well, we got the chair. The good old classic armchair. And let's go to our next thing. Oh, here we go. Let's see what's next. One day someone will definitely ask the question, why is there a cube here? That's weird. Why is there a cube in the living room? That doesn't make any sense. What's wrong with him? Huh?
I like it, even if you don't want to call it.
Babe, it's not cubism.
But cubes.
That's not cubism.
Followers.
Huh?
Ask your followers what they think.
I'm not gonna ask them because I know.
So what is cubism? Define it.
Cubism is the breaking down of, as an art style, is the breaking down of figurative work into very simplified forms, or breaking it apart and then breaking it down. But not necessarily like a cube, but a variety of edges. Alexa, define cubism.
Cubism is usually defined as a style of painting and sculpture developed in the early 20th century, characterized chiefly by an emphasis on formal structure, the reduction of natural forms to their geometrical equivalents, and the organization of the planes of a represented object independently of representational requirements.
See? Exactly what I said.
Is it?
Huh?
Is it?
Yeah, you're breaking down forms or figures into shapes. Did I say that? I said shapes. Huh?
I said, did you?
Yes.
Ask me what you have to do with this.
Melissa?
Bruce!
Oh. Is he trying to be a sub?
She wants to know.
That's weird. I thought he was Hollywood's biggest producer. Estrada y Omitsu. Polite water. They what?
Took me off hold for Friday.
Really?
I'm on hold for Saturday now and Halloween. And the first through the 12th. That's okay.
There are two forms. All right, so.
See, things change, babe. You have to be flexible.
Oh, was it because of the smell? Maybe it was because of the smell. But, so Amizu says there are two forms of cubism. Analytical was deconstruction forms into something new, and synthetic was something new, and synthetic was reorganizing forms to create something new. So deconstructing forms to create something new, and synthetic was reorganizing forms to create something new. Deconstructing and reorganizing. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. So nothing to do with cubes, really. Like actual cubes.
So, send me over and spank me for being wrong.
I can do that. All right, we are nearing the finale here. Gotta head out, Estrada. Thank you so much. Good to see you. Hope that this was entertaining for you, or soothing, or relaxing, or uplifted you in some way. That's all I aim to do with my live streams, or informed you something positive. You got something positive out of this. This last little bit. Oh yeah, so Mizu, I made up a word. It's called mindfulness. Mindfulness. So it's mindful painting, like you're mindful, like your mind is filled, but it's less of ideas. So less of an expectation of some form of it's less of an expectation, less of things that can hinder.
Alright. Oh, you and your chicken balls. Yes, sir.
And here we are now. We're on the final stretch.
Here, this is for Emmett. I don't know what eats it.
Can you just put it in the microwave or something for now, please?
Okay, yeah. You won't forget? You won't forget?
I might forget.
So I'll have to remind you, because if it stays out all night, it won't be any good.
Yeah, just remind me. What's so hard?
I forgot to tell you last night there was broccoli in the microwave. And I had put it in there.
Oh.
I'm not the keeper of your mind. No, I'd like to have mind control so I can bend you to my will at all times. No, not really. That wouldn't be much fun.
You say that, but I think it's.
I think you'd like that too. Make me do what you want.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's true. You do believe that,
Everybody wants to have
Right.
mind control.
but it's you're trying to deny it. Is the funny
Of course
part.
I'm trying to deny it. Why would I want to admit it? Oh.
Alright, I like where this has turned out. I was a little lost at first. Didn't know. I mean, you know what? Here's the thing: is when I paint without the expectation, I try to see where it goes. But I think we all fall back to our what do people say? They fall back to their habits. Whenever you stretch for something, you fall back to your habits. And my habit is what we know, what I know. And this is the style that I actually feel comfortable with. And constantly, you know, if I ever get stuck in a painting, I feel like this is just my resort. Which I guess it's not a bad one, it's just at some point I'll have to experiment with other ways. But here we go. Let's bring in some yellow here.
Where's the remote?
I don't know where the remote is. Did you say I'm banged up?
No, I said it was under a paper towel.
Hmm. Empty mind, yes, mindfulness. Here we go. We're just gonna go straight into. Let's grab a brown, grab some of this yellow, mix it in to lighten it. Scout loves this broccoli. He is going after it.
I think it's because I put butter on it. Yeah, I put
Oh. Yeah, I guess they're not trying to eat the broccoli, they're trying to eat the butter, huh?
They're eating the broccoli.
Oh, they were eating the broccoli? Lay this paint down. What did you say about Survivor?
Survivor. So. I'm just gonna check.
Very judged about this. Thanks to be in that house, we don't have the space for the baby to run after hours. Dr. Leonard, she took care of us as impossible. Does she have
Is this what show is this?
Chicago Med.
Oh. Maybe he. How long has he been on the show?
The guy holding the baby?
Yeah.
There you go.
This reminds me of an audition I did.
Are we auditioning for that guy?
Well, I was auditioning for like an Asian dude, which, you know, he's kind of Asian. Get passed for mixed.
No, I'm the babysitter.
Okay, let me want you to call this mother for me, okay?
I already did. She's on her way. Will he be okay?
I take very good care of him, I promise. You mean I'm not good with you?
Yes, I'm ready.
So the triage versus the experiences you got.
All right. Well, we finished what we're working on here. And
Any dietary changes? Well, sugar can impact health, but it's unlikely to cause an acute episode. Would you like to stay back home? May I?
all right, so hey, we're done tonight, people. I am finished with this painting.
I think we're looking at divers.
And a special thank you to Estrada
We usually treat it with antibiotics.
and
So
Omizu.
now that we start with CT scanning and we'll take it from there.
Sounds good. His name is Nate Sullivan. He's 3 months old. My babysitter, Whitney, Rip. Nate was brought in with a fever.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
He's in trouble. I'm Dr. Frost.
I'll walk over with you so I can see. You being tricky.
We had a few bars with some friends.
Wait, you took Nate to a bar.
No, I got him a babysitter. That's who brought him in.
Has he been sick?
No, he's a little cough.
So you left the sick baby to go get hammered.
I'm not hammered. I went out for a little Halloween celebration. Screw you and your judgment, Saint Rip. I don't need this.
All right, a lot of drama on General Hospital.
I agree with her.
Scott has licked all the butter off of the broccoli and left us with just some broccoli. So let's clean up some of the supplies here. A couple paints that need to go in the garbage. Ah, nice clean surface. Clean space, cleaning up the space.
Save on fashion, home, beauty, and more. Amazon fall favorites.
Whoa!
Thinning all around my hairline.
Dermatologist recommended it's soft 100% drug-free and clinically tested.
Hair is longer, thicker.
Nutrafol is like cheap.
Get growing at Nutrafol.com.
Okay, let's close up our palette. Got this baby yesterday. It only took 1 day for Amazon Prime to ship it over. But one of the kittens had knocked this over, so I had to get a new one. Fortunately, the glass palette inside survived, but the plastic one did not.
Legislation to lower penalties for pedophiles. White House wants to pretend isn't in her best interest. He's not.
I have trouble lines without exception.
That's just horrible. I first see a push to ban abortion. Even in California, he doesn't care about me or my daughters. He sponsored the
I don't like when I get when my streamers get a free ad placement. I mean, no matter what it is, whether it be some crazy stuff or whatever. So here we are. We are at the end of the night and we are done. So everybody take care, and I hope you all have a fantastic creative rest of your week. I'll probably be back tomorrow. That will be the goal. Always painting, always being creative. I wrote a book. It's called Always Be Creating. And I aim to live by that philosophy that I came up with for myself. So, always working on something. So take care, Mizu. Thanks for being here and everybody else.
The NBC 40 is